Hello and welcome to this Warhammer Fantasy update with me, Xenovids. Now, I am a big 40k player. I have played Warhammer 40k for over 10 years now, and I have probably combined 10,000 points of various different armies. I've definitely got about 5,000 to 6,000 points of Eldar, about 3,000 Tyranids, maybe a little bit more. I've got a 2,000 point Space Wolves army. I've got little bits here and there of other armies as well. I've also collected Chaos Space Marines, Orcs. I had the Dark Elder Codex from 4th edition. I've had a lot, really, and Ian, who you see a lot on this channel in the battle reports, he's got Tau, Chaos, Space Marines, and we both really love 40k, and we're both loving 7th edition. Yes, we don't really play Unbound lists yet at the moment, but that's more of a narrative thing, which we're going to be doing eventually. But over the last few weeks, I have felt a need inside of me to maybe do something different, and I've had a look at fantasy models, and I've done a few videos about how to choose a Warhammer Fantasy army. And I have followed that process, and I came to a conclusion that I would either collect High Elves or Ogres. Now, the reasons for this is because I love the look of the High Elves. High Elves are an elf army, and I love elf armies. I collect Eldar, which are space-faring elves, and they're fast, tricky, psychic abilities are good, high maneuverability, low in strength and toughness, which isn't great in a combat-based game. However, they have Always Strikes Burst, you can buff them with magical abilities, etc, etc. The model range too I also like. I like Phoenix Guard, the White Lions, the Spearmen don't look too bad, and I love the Dragons and the Phoenixes that have come out recently. So it doesn't look too bad, some of the older stuff. I wish they would update it maybe, but that's the High Elves, and I like them, and I love the fluff as well. I think it's one of the most interesting fluffs, how these noble elves have come to ruin through wars of chaos and their dark elves brethren, and how the Wood Elves said, you know what, I'm not getting involved, I'm going back into these woods, and just kind of went away. Ogres, on the other hand, the reason I came to the ogre conclusion, the ogres are big, huge beasts. In their fluff, they were created by the old ones to be like the brute force to take down chaos, and that's what they can do. But they're not clever, and they're not very strategic, which you can see in their gameplay, where you can go in and smash things up more than you can with elves when you have to have a huge strategy. Ogres, the models look good. The bulls kind of look a bit generic to me, but then you have the Tyrant and the Fire Belly, which has the flame coming out, and it looks amazing. And I fell in love with the models, which is great, and the fluff was okay. And the gameplay was okay, but it was the models that drew me to it. So I posed a question to the internet and asked, should I go for High Elves or Ogres? What do you think? And most of the responses were, go with your heart. Choose an army that you like. No matter if the playstyle is rubbish, you won't enjoy the hobby as much if you don't go with the models you like, the army you like, the fluff you like. If you started collecting Skaven models and Skaven became the most overpowered race in the fantasy gameplay for a good year or so, and you were winning everything and nothing was really a challenge, but you hated painting the models, or you hated the fact that you had to move giant trays, and you hated this, that and the other, what's the point in doing this? It's not just a game, it's a hobby. For me anyway, it's the game, the painting, the researching about each unit and colour schemes and stuff like that. So I decided to go with my heart, and I thought I'd update you all with my choice. And a number of things have factors have helped me come to this conclusion. Ian has a huge, I think, 3,000 to 4,000 point dwarf army, and he's also very interested in lizardmen and has a 16-man squad of Sauros warriors, a skink priest, and one of the skink special characters riding on one of those floating stone things that you see the slan on, like Tetouille, something like that. If you're a lizardman player, you'll probably know who I'm on about. And I did paint some of his lizardmen, but I felt that I just didn't enjoy them as much as he does. So I've said, look, I'm not going to collect lizardmen. And we started talking about doing fantasy armies, and we didn't really know what points wise we wanted to do, but it would seem to get the models we liked the look of and what we wanted to play with, it would be about a 3,000 point army. So we've gone with collecting a 3,000 point army, and he obviously has dwarves, he's got enough for them, and he's going to collect a load of lizards and lizardmen to boost that up to a 3,000 point army. So he's got 2 highly magical defensive armies that are relatively tough and strong. I mean, lizardmen, Sauros warriors have toughness and strength 4, and I think 4 up armor save. Yes, they're initiative 2, but and a weapon skill of 3. They're still relatively tough. And the slan is easy. With the slan and a priest or 2, you easily can just stop your opponent using magic. His dwarfs, he's got their giant anvil and glyphs, and just go. You're not using your magical powers this turn and stuff like that. So, looking at high elves and ogres, I have decided to collect. Drum roll, please. I have decided to collect both high elves and ogres. Ian will have 2 armies, and I will have 2 armies. When I collect them up to the 3,000 points, then we can start doing more battle reports. Now, a number of reasons, like I said, he has 2 armies, so if I had one, it could get a bit stale just doing the 3. So adding a 4th one makes it fairer. If we did a fantasy league, we could do it that way, which would mean more battle reports for you guys out there. Having the 2 armies will allow me to look at both codexes, and now that I've made this decision, I can do a whole series of fantasy videos now. Whereas before I was doing 40k, I can now do 40k and fantasy. And I know Games Workshop has pushed more towards 40k recently in the last few years, and the coverage it seems to get in White Dwarf, for example, is about 80% 40k and 20% fantasy. So me doing this is going to be good for my channel and interesting for you guys, because you can see my process of collecting an army from scratch. Now I have coming in the post an ogre tyrant, an ogre, I think a man-eater or man-hunter. It's one of the ones that has like a treasure chest on him, and he looks really cool when he's got this giant leather jacket on. And I've also got some Island of Blood models, high elf models coming, and I'm going to paint up the priest and the sword masters from them, and then I'm going to show you guys the models that I have painted, so you can see what I've done so far, and then I can let you know what paints I've used and if I've enjoyed painting the models, because that is a huge factor for me, if I enjoy painting the models. So that's going to be really cool. Like I said, I have the codexes. When they come, I can then do a codex review. I don't really know how to play fantasy. I played it about 2 years ago, but I can talk about the units and what seems to be really good, and then start talking about lists to build that I have chosen, and then you can help me and we can build a list together, and then we can do battle reports against these pesky dwarves and pesky lizardmen. So yeah, I thought I'd update you on my Warhammer fantasy projects. I'm still finishing off one of my armies for our Christmas Cup for 40k, So it is going to be a bit slow to start with. I've got a birthday coming up in October, which is great. So I'm going to be asking for ogres and high elves, and if anyone feels generous out there and wants to send me a birthday gift, I can let you know nearer the time, or leave a comment below that you'd like to send me a gift. I would much appreciate it, and stuff like that. So yeah, we've got Christmas, where I'll be asking for a few battalions from parents, or like get friends to put some money together for that as well, so that in the New Year's we can kick it right off with some good fantasy badge reports, as well as covering my 40k stuff as well. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Xenovids. Your support as ever always helps out, and it's what made me decide to do 40k and fantasy. Just push myself out there and do more and more battle reports and army lists and painting and stuff like that for you guys. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video.